Welcome to our channel, where we explore the depths of human psychology and behavior. Today, we're going to be talking about a very specific and fascinating topic: the dark patterns that narcissists use to trap and manipulate their victims. But before we dive into that, let's ask ourselves a question: have you ever felt like you're living in a dream world, where nothing seems quite real? Where the people around you seem to be wearing masks, and you're not sure what's truly going on behind the scenes? This is a feeling that many people experience when they're dealing with a narcissist. It's as if they're living in a never-ending nightmare, where they're constantly being gaslighted and manipulated. But what exactly is a narcissist, and how do they use these dark patterns to control and exploit others? To answer these questions, we'll be drawing on the wisdom of Carl Jung, a renowned psychologist who spent his career studying the human psyche. Jung believed that the human mind is composed of both conscious and unconscious elements, and that our unconscious thoughts and desires play a huge role in shaping our behavior. He also believed that narcissists are individuals who are driven by a deep-seated need for power and control, and that they use a variety of tactics to manipulate and exploit others in order to get what they want. So, let's take a closer look at these tactics, and see if we can gain a deeper understanding of the dark psychology behind narcissistic behavior. With Jung's insights, we'll be able to see the world in a whole new light, and gain a deeper understanding of the complex and often hidden forces that shape human behavior. One of the most common tactics that narcissists use to manipulate others is something called love bombing. This is when someone showers you with attention and affection in the early stages of a relationship, only to withdraw it later on and leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled. It's a classic example of the old carrot and stick approach, where the narcissist dangles the promise of love and connection in front of you, only to pull it away when you're least expecting it. As Jung once said, the wounded healer is the one who has been wounded, and yet has not been made bitter by his wounds. But what happens when the wounded healer becomes the wounded manipulator? This is exactly what happens in the case of a narcissist, who uses their own emotional wounds to justify their manipulative behavior. For example, let's say that a narcissist has a deep-seated fear of abandonment. In order to avoid feeling this fear, they may use love bombing to lure someone into a relationship, and then withdraw their affection when they feel like they're getting too close. It's a clever tactic, but one that ultimately ends up hurting everyone involved. So, how can we recognize the warning signs of a narcissist, and avoid falling into their trap? By being aware of the tactics they use, and by developing a stronger sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. As Jung said, the goal of psychological development is to become a whole and integrated person, and to live a life that is authentic and meaningful. Another tactic that narcissists use to manipulate others is something called gaslighting. This is when someone denies or distorts reality in order to make you question your own perceptions or sanity. It's a very effective way of controlling someone, because it makes them doubt their own abilities and judgment. For example, let's say that a narcissist is accused of doing something wrong, but they deny it and tell you that you're just being paranoid or oversensitive. If you're not careful, you may start to doubt your own memories or perceptions, and wonder if you're really just imagining things. As Jung said, the collective unconscious is a shared reservoir of archetypes, or universal symbols and images that are present in the dreams and myths of all cultures. But what happens when the collective unconscious is hijacked by a narcissist, who uses these archetypes to manipulate and control others? This is exactly what happens in the case of gaslighting, where the narcissist uses their knowledge of the collective unconscious to create a false narrative that makes you question your own reality. So, how can we protect ourselves from this kind of manipulation? By being aware of the tactics that narcissists use, and by developing a stronger sense of self-awareness and critical thinking. As Jung said, the process of individuation is the central concept of my psychology, and it refers to the integration of the opposites, such as conscious and unconscious, rational and emotional, and so on. By integrating our own opposites, we can become more whole and complete, and less susceptible to the manipulations of others. So, how can we apply these insights to our everyday lives, and transform our relationships with narcissists? The first step is to become more aware of the tactics they use, and to develop a stronger sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. This means being able to recognize the warning signs of a narcissist, such as love bombing or gaslighting, and taking steps to protect ourselves from their manipulations. It also means being more mindful of our own emotions and needs, and taking care of ourselves in a way that is healthy and nourishing. As Jung said, the process of transformation is a gradual one, and it requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to confront our own shadow. By confronting our own shadow, we can become more whole and complete, and less susceptible to the manipulations of others. We can also develop more authentic and meaningful relationships with others, based on mutual respect and understanding. So, let's take the first step on this journey of transformation, and start to recognize the dark patterns that narcissists use to trap and manipulate others. With the help of Carl Jung, we can gain a deeper understanding of the human psyche, and develop the skills and knowledge we need to protect ourselves from the manipulations of others. In conclusion, the dark patterns that narcissists use to trap and manipulate others are a powerful and insidious force in our world. But by becoming more aware of these tactics, and developing a stronger sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence, we can protect ourselves from their manipulations and live more authentic and meaningful lives. So, if you're looking to improve your relationships, build your self-confidence, or simply become more aware of the world around you, be sure to subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. As Jung said, the future is not something we enter, but something we create. Let's create a brighter future for ourselves, and for those around us, by becoming more aware of the dark patterns that narcissists use to trap and manipulate others. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.